So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream.
I kill all the white people in the movie. How great is that?
If you're on Martin Luther King Boulevard, there's some violence going down.
You know, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon.
There are about 1 million acts of violent black-white crime in a given year. And by violent, I mean rape, murder, robbery with aggravated manslaughter.
He says, well, I'm going to kill your baby. And I said, please don't kill my baby. Then he shot my baby right in the head.
This group of 32 people targeted only certain people to allegedly beat up and rob.
Primary focus was on white males.
The victim is white. Witnesses tell police he was attacked by a large group of black men.
Hayes told police he was angry about the Martin shooting and targeted the victim because of his race.
Police say throughout the video you can hear the three attackers using racial slurs against the 15-year-old.
The man used an anti-white slur, and then...
Why are you in my face? And I told him I wasn't in his face, it was a credit bus, and then he just attacked me. My nose was broken in like 2 places. I have stitches. I don't know, my eye was closed.
He said, the next white person that walks by, I'm going to... And before he could finish, his fist went in and the man's head bobbed and he hit the ground and you could hear his skull hitting the ground.
I've been hit by a fishing pole, I've been kicked, I've been punched, I've been thrown into a bush because I'm white.
Now he says he was held down to the ground right here. He says one suspect was kicking him, another pressed a gun to his head. And they say he deserved to be beat because he was white.
Douglas slammed her car door on her leg nearly a dozen times before he punched her in the face and neck.
And he said he hated whites and he was going to kill my white ass.
Meehan says kids at his new school, including one involved in the attack, treated him badly for a time because he was white, leading his family to believe.
I do kind of think it was racist. I think if he would have been black, I don't think he would have got beat up like that.
Women were allegedly gang raped Thursday in a Delaware park by as many as 12 suspects. The suspects have been described by police as black males, all believed to be teenagers.
Search for a suspect after the brutal attack on a young woman at a Lakewood convenience store. And what set this off? 41 cents. Can you believe it?
You can see there that man punching the mother of 3 in the head multiple times.
It shows a man entering the home, punching this woman repeatedly, kicking her, putting her in a chokehold at one point, wrestling with her, even at one point tossing her down the stairs.
Christopher McEwen. He was arrested early Saturday morning. They found the body of 21-year-old Janice Shearer in McEwen's pickup truck. Inside the house, they discovered one of the victim's ears in a pot on the stove and another piece of flesh nearby.
DeMarco Harris, he is 13 years old now, but 12 years old when he shot and killed Trisha Babcock.
Police say Barrera surrendered around 2:30 Sunday morning, saying that he had just killed 23-year-old Sarah Coit. Neighbors say they could hear her screams.
Joseph Gray is heartbroken over the death of his daughter, Tiffany. He says he knew his daughter's boyfriend, Corey, but never thought he would be capable of something like this.
The suspected murderer, accused of burglarizing and fatally beating the beauty in what police called a crime of passion.
Catherine Blakeney was found dead yesterday. Her husband, accused of killing her, just made his first court appearance.
They say Williams got into an argument with his girlfriend, 21-year-old Jessica Cromwell, last night at Wendy's, where she worked, and stabbed her several times. The murder-suicide has left those who knew the couple puzzled.
But prosecutors today charged 19-year-old Damon Christopher Williams Tillman with chasing Jocelyn Bishop down and stabbing her to death.
Bullets and blood coated the crime scene at Pinewood Village and Federal Way, where Justine Baez rented an apartment with her boyfriend.
She will never forget how special Hope Patterson was, and like many, wondered why this happened.
He took a mother away from her children.
Last Thursday, Ashley told co-workers her husband had lost his wallet, as he had done before, along with the money to buy the children's Christmas presents. That was the last time they saw her.
8 adults and 4 teenagers, the youngest just 12, were arrested after Seminole County Sheriff's deputies say they beat up pregnant Ashley Flerney.
Jerome Hamilton, now 16, was originally charged with first-degree murder, accused in the shooting death of Catherine Solinsky Blaine. The 21-year-old was pregnant when shot to death last October.
James and Cedric Poor, accused of tying up twin sisters, Katie and Rebecca Powell, their friend Misty Nunley, and neighbor Julie Jackson, and then shooting them all in the head.
18 men and schoolboys, possibly more here, assaulted this 11-year-old child. A child. Think about that for a moment. The suspects, 18 of them, range in age from middle schoolers all the way up to a 27-year-old. Some of them allegedly recorded this gang rape on their cell phones, and they spread it around school. Court documents paint a brutal picture as to what happened as one young man, after another, forced that 6th grade girl into hours of sex.
Thomas is the infamous West Side rapist who raped and killed 30 women in the 1970s and 80s. The murder victims in all cases under review were older white women, most of them lower-income widows living alone.
After the gunman forced her to take money out, he made her drive around.
He was talking about raping her. He was masturbating at times. He told her to get in the back seat of her car. He had her remove some clothing.
Chisholm allegedly robbed 24-year-old Colleen Ritzer of her credit cards, iPhone, and underwear before murdering her with a box cutter in a school bathroom. Investigators say Chisholm dumped her body outside the school, then went to a fast food restaurant and a movie.
The murders of Shannon Christian and Chris Newsom. Police say the couple was murdered in January. Newsom's body was found bound and burned. He was shot at least 3 times. Christian's body was found a few days later in a nearby home. Her body had been stuffed inside a large trash can in the home's kitchen.
The great-uncle of Layla Malone, distraught and disgusted, the 4-year-old died. Police say at the hands of this man.
Crutchfield admitted to striking the boy a couple times on the head and chest. Ryan was 3 feet 9 inches tall. He only weighed 34 pounds.
As Jason was biking home from work in the Crest Lake area the night of January 5th, someone came up to him and stabbed him to death. Police say the suspect is a then 15-year-old Michael King.
A 5-year-old autistic boy had just gotten onto his school bus, one of these Acme school buses, when a 39-year-old Richard Mason allegedly used excessive force to discipline him and fractured the boy's arm.
The victim is the one sitting in the second seat of the Pinella school bus with his head down. The violence starts as soon as he stands up to get off the bus. The bus driver, John Moody, yells for somebody to try to stop them and calls for help.
A 13-year-old is back home tonight after 2 teens poured gasoline on him and lit him on fire.
They rushed him up on the porch as he was trying to get the door open. He poured the gasoline and then flicked the bic and said, "This is what you deserve. You get what you deserve, white boy."
They say she grabbed the child out of his stroller in front of his mother and aunt and slammed his defenseless little body against a metal rail on a truck.
Jeremy Priel, seen on the left, and Michael Bell on the right, pleaded guilty to the murders of 7-year-old Kylie Crane and her 21-year-old uncle, Jeremy Crane.
He's charged with murder for allegedly shooting 13-month-old Antonio Santiago in the face while he was strapped in his stroller. Police say the baby's mother, Sherry West, was walking her baby not far from their Brunswick home.
Morgan says she was first punched and attacked on a school bus by one of 2 boys who wanted her as a girlfriend. Then last week she was punched by the other boy in the McLaughlin Middle School cafeteria, knocking out her 2 front teeth and dislocating her jaw. Her teeth are wired in right now.
After she went missing on October 20th, 3 days later, her body was found stuffed in a blue recycling bin. She had been strangled. 16-year-old Justin Robinson now admits he lured Autumn to his house.
Mullane was charged with kidnapping, aggravated assault, and child abuse stemming from an incident with a toddler in Tunica County. On Friday, we told you Mullane was out on bond from assault charges in Clarksdale. He was accused of beating 77-year-old Shirley Gordon with a piece of asphalt.
The man accused of murdering a Kentwood elderly couple is back in West Michigan and closer to charges that have been in the works for months.
He was found guilty of attacking 101-year-old Rose Marat. Seen here, 85-year-old Solange Elize and 51-year-old Angela Kahn.
The bodies of 89-year-old Arthur and 86-year-old Maxine Hodge were found stabbed and beaten in their Brookwood Drive home in Clinton. Monday, the confessed killer, Willie Williams Jr., made his initial appearance in court.
The only time 76-year-old Nancy Harris asked for days off was to watch the Cowboys play.
Tonight, she is in critical condition at Parkland with serious burns on her upper torso, face, and head. 37-year-old Matthew Lee Johnson is being charged.
Robert Nixon early this morning. Police say he killed an 88-year-old woman at her home in Northwest Charlotte.
Fulalov was found shot to death in a storage space behind her home Saturday. 19-year-old Khalil Kennedy now faces capital murder charges in her death.
Royal brutally beat 80-year-old Faye Jones. Jones was found dead in her home Sunday morning by friends who were worried when she didn't show up for church.
These are the two men police say beat an 88-year-old World War II veteran to death last night while he was sitting in his car near Eagles Ice Arena in North Spokane.
Javon Tyrek Rogers, you see him right there, was arrested Friday night for allegedly killing 99-year-old Fanny Gumbinger in her Underhill Avenue home.
Baker allegedly choosing a victim in the jurisdiction he was trusted to protect and serve. The first incident happened in 2010, the alleged rape of a 76-year-old woman inside her South Sacramento home.
Police say the 93-year-old was sleeping when this 17-year-old kicked in her back door and raped her. A witness told police they saw him that night sweating without any shoes on.
They demanded that the man withdraw money from his bank. Thomas Nedich suffers from stage 4 brain cancer and is unable to walk.
An assault on Tuesday, August 2nd, of a frail 93-year-old woman.
An 80-year-old woman says she was terrorized in the worst possible way. An intruder robbing her, then raping her.
The surveillance video shot inside this Redford Sunoco station is just a snapshot of a teenage rampage. A plethora of young punks caught on camera talking smack and trashing the inside of the convenience store.
The thieves grab sodas, candy, and other items, then quickly walk out of the convenience store without paying for a thing.
They're teens, some call them thugs. They've invaded and taken over this gas station.
Watch as they ransack, steal, wreak havoc with no consideration for customers.
The mob took over an Exxon Tiger Mart off I-20 and Polk in Dallas.
The flash mob of more than a dozen teens that stole from this Chevron back in April paved the way for several more brazen thefts, all caught on camera.
A group of thugs on the attack, beating an employee within an inch of his life.
This assault victim, who suffered broken bones above her right eye and a fractured nose, says she was assaulted by some of these teenage boys, shown in this deli surveillance video, filling their pockets with items they allegedly didn't pay for.
According to witnesses, a large group of black teenagers rampaged through the Midway late Wednesday.
Breaking news in the Crenshaw district, where a peaceful gathering in Lemert Park to protest the Zimmerman verdict is overshadowed when a group of mostly younger people starts marching that soon runs wild in the streets of South LA.
The three men shoved him into a car in Senatobia, Mississippi, shouted, "This is for Trayvon," and started beating him.
Early Sunday morning, this group of thugs pummeling him outside a Mount Clemens gas station, then taking off.
3 different people attacked locally, all part of one dangerous game, seen in videos from across the U.S. It's called Knockout. The goal, walk up to an unsuspecting victim and take them down in one punch.
He pays his fare, then, out of nowhere, he punches the victim, Jeannie, square in the face.
The video shows a man being punched in the face in downtown Baltimore. You can hear his head hit the pavement near the entrance to Courthouse East.
And then without a word being spoken, he just waylaid our 66-year-old victim by punching him with his fist on the right side of his face.
Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Shots rang out around 1 o'clock this afternoon, shortly after the Martin Luther King Day parade passed the corner store where the shooting took place.